So, Crimson Desert has finally arrived, and honestly, it delivered. Pearl Abyss spent years building this thing, and you can feel every single one of those years in the final product. This is a massive open-world action RPG that doesn't pull any punches. You play as Macduff, a mercenary with a dark past, and the world around him feels genuinely alive. Every region looks different, every faction has its own personality, and the combat, satisfying doesn't even begin to cover it. The sword fighting system is weighty and responsive in a way that makes every single encounter feel meaningful. And the boss fights, oh man, the boss fights are something else. We're talking cinematic, intense, the kind of stuff you screenshot and send to your friends immediately. The story isn't your typical hero saves the world setup either. It's gritty, it's political, and it genuinely keeps you guessing. Pearl Abyss swung for the fences with this one, and they connected. If you haven't picked it up yet, what are you waiting for? Crimson Desert is exactly the kind of game that reminds you why open-world RPGs...
Okay, so Bond games have had a rough few years, right? We all know it, but IO Interactive, the guys behind the Hitman series, just completely changed the conversation with 007 First Light. And here's what makes this one so different from every other Bond game we've ever had. It's an origin story. You're not playing the polished, tuxedo-wearing super spy we all know. You're playing a younger Bond, rough around the edges, still figuring out who he is. And that fresh angle makes everything feel genuinely exciting. IO Interactive knows how to build tension. They know how to give players freedom in how they approach a situation. You can go in guns blazing, or you can ghost through an entire mission without being seen. The gadgets feel grounded and useful, not gimmicky. The writing is sharp, and the voice acting is excellent. There are moments in this game that genuinely feel like you're inside a Bond film, and that's not easy to pull off in an interactive format. 007 First Light launched on PS5, Xbox Series, Switch 2, and PC, and it's already being called one of the best action games of the year. Yeah, it's that.
If someone told you to imagine Devil May Cry set in a magical apocalyptic London, you'd think that sounds too good to be true. But that's exactly what Tides of Annihilation is, and it absolutely works. Developer Eclipse Glow Games spent 5 years building this thing, and that dedication shows in every single frame. You play as Gwendolyn, fighting through a version of London that's been completely overtaken by Avalon, the mythical realm from Arthurian legend. And the visual clash between modern city architecture and ancient magical chaos looks absolutely stunning. The combat system is where Tides really shines, though. It's fast, it's flashy, and it rewards creativity. Chaining combos together feels incredible, and the game constantly opens up new ways to fight as you progress. Boss encounters are genuinely spectacular, big, dramatic, and full of moments that make you pump your fist. The main story runs around 30 hours, which is a solid length for this type of game. And get this, the developers already have co-op mode and DLC in development. That level of confidence in your own project doesn't come from nowhere. Tides of Annihilation is a brand new IP, doing things that established franchises wish they could. Keep your eyes on this one.
Here's the one on this list that deserves way more attention than it's getting right now. A Whisper of Fall, Jin Yi Wei. It's set in Ming Dynasty China and follows the Jin Yi Wei, the emperor's secret police force, through a story full of conspiracy, loyalty, and moral complexity. And it is gorgeous, like genuinely stop and stare gorgeous. The art direction looks like classical Chinese paintings brought to life with modern rendering technology. Every environment is carefully detailed, historically grounded, and visually stunning in a way that very few games manage to pull off. The gameplay blends stealth and action in a way that feels purposeful. You're not just slipping past guards because the game tells you to. You're doing it because it makes sense for the character and the story. And the narrative itself is surprisingly sophisticated. This isn't a simple action adventure. The story asks real questions about duty, justice, and what it means to serve a system you might not fully believe in. In a year where everyone is talking about sequels and established franchises, A Whisper of Fall, Jin Yi Wei, is the original IP that proves new ideas still have powerful place in AAA gaming. Give this one a real shot. Every year has that one game that's genuinely hard to put into a box. In 2026, that game is Stranger Than Heaven. From the first moment you load it up, something feels off, deliberately. beautifully off. The world is familiar but twisted. The atmosphere is thick and unsettling in a way that pulls you forward, even when part of you wants to step back. What's remarkable about Stranger Than Heaven is how much it trusts the player. It doesn't over-explain. It doesn't hold your hand through every discovery. It lets you sit with the mystery, explore at your own pace, and draw your own conclusions. That kind of restraint is genuinely rare in modern big-budget gaming. The visual style is dark and painterly, like someone took a nightmare and gave it structure and color. The sound design is exceptional, using silence as effectively as music to build tension. Every audio cue feels deliberate. Every quiet moment feels loaded. This is the type of game that serious gamers talk about for years, the type that influences other developers and gets brought up in conversations about what games can do as an art form. Stranger Than Heaven is not the loudest game on this list, but it might be the most important.
All right, Resident Evil Requiem. This is the one everyone's been counting down to. Capcom has been on an incredible run lately. RE7, Village, the RE4 remake, they've rebuilt the franchise into something truly special, and Requiem looks like their most ambitious entry yet. Here's a detail that tells you everything about the direction of this game. Director Koshi Nakanishi actually confirmed they toned down certain horror elements because player feedback said RE7 was too scary for some people. Too scary? And they still went harder with Requiem. That should terrify you in the best possible way. The environments are claustrophobic and brutally detailed. The enemy design is genuinely horrifying, the kind of creature design that makes you uncomfortable just looking at screenshots. The story appears to be connecting threads from across the modern RE timeline, and longtime fans are going to have a field day with every single reference and callback. Gameplay feels like a refined evolution of everything Capcom has perfected. Tight controls, constant resource tension, and set pieces that are genuinely cinematic. Resident Evil Requiem isn't just a great horror game, it's a statement from Capcom that they are absolutely untouchable right now. Don't play this one alone.
Marcus Phoenix is back, and this time we're going all the way back to where it all started. Gears of War E-Day is set 14 years before the original game, right on Emergence Day itself, the single worst day in the history of Sera, the day the Locust Horde tore through the ground and humanity realized the world would never be the same again. And you're right there, experiencing every brutal second of it. The Coalition and People Can Fly built this on Unreal Engine 5, and it shows. The Locusts have never looked this terrifying. The environments have never felt this desperate. Blood, fire, chaos. E-Day captures the raw horror of that first day in a way the original game could only hint at through cutscenes and dialogue. John DiMaggio and Carlos Ferro are both back as Marcus and Dom, and honestly, just hearing those voices together again is enough to give longtime fans chills. The game is designed as a focused, linear experience. No open-world distractions, just pure storytelling from start to finish. The Coalition called this story too good to miss, and based on everything we've seen, they weren't wrong. This is Gears at its most raw, emotional, and brutal. Exactly what the franchise needed.
After Black Myth Wukong proved that Chinese studios could compete at the very top of AAA game development, all eyes shifted to Phantom Blade Zero, and S-Game has responded with something that looks genuinely extraordinary. Set in the Phantom world, an alternate universe blending Chinese martial arts with fantasy, sci-fi, and folk horror, this game has a visual identity unlike anything else releasing this year. The Kung Fu Punk aesthetic is immediately striking and completely original. You play as Soul, an elite assassin whose life is literally running out. That ticking clock creates a sense of urgency that runs through the entire experience. Every mission, every fight, every story beat feels loaded with consequence. The combat draws clear inspiration from Devil May Cry rather than Dark Souls. Fast, expressive, endlessly stylish. Dual weapons, Phantom Edge secondaries, Sha-Chi resource management, there's real depth here that rewards players who invest the time to master it. Boss fights look absolutely spectacular. S-Game confirmed DLSS 4.0 and Dolby Atmos supported launch. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it drops September 9th, simultaneously on PS5 and PC. No timed exclusivity. Phantom Blade Zero has genuine Game of the Year potential.
Okay, so this one is genuinely unlike anything else on this list. John Carpenter, the man behind Halloween, The Thing, The Fog, has his name on a video game. And it's not just a branding deal.
His actual sensibility, his actual aesthetic DNA is baked into every corner of Toxic Commando. If you know Carpenter's work, you know exactly what that means. Nobody does creeping dread like this man. Nobody understands how to make something feel deeply wrong in a way that you can't quite explain. That specific skill is now interactive. The game leans fully into B-movie horror, gloriously over-the-top creature designs, thick atmosphere, a story that's simultaneously ridiculous and completely committed to itself. There's a self-awareness to it that makes it genuinely fun rather than just scary. You know you're in a Carpenter world, and the game never lets you forget it. Gameplay is a co-op horror shooter, the kind of experience that's best played at midnight with friends. The creature variety is impressive, and the level design creates constant tension about what's waiting around the next corner. Jump scares are earned rather than cheap. For horror fans,
And we close out the list with the one that might end up being the biggest surprise of the whole year. Valor Mortis has been building quietly. No massive marketing budget, no huge reveal events, just steady word of mouth from people who played it and couldn't stop talking about it. And that organic buzz is always the most reliable kind. The world of Valor Mortis is dark, ancient, and deeply layered. Death isn't a game over screen here. It's woven into the actual lore and mechanics of the world. The developers clearly spent serious time building something with real depth behind it. Every location you visit has history. Every enemy you fight has a reason for being there. Nothing feels random or thrown in. Combat is precise and punishing. This game demands patience and observation. You cannot button mash your way through Valor Mortis, but when you finally crack the rhythm of a difficult encounter and execute it cleanly, the feeling is genuinely unmatched.
and that's the list, guys. 10 games that are making 2026 genuinely historic for gaming. Honestly, your sleep schedule is already gone. Just accept it. Drop a comment